Hello. We have no Charlie today.
Yes, it is John's Comics with Kid.
Nosy. No S.
We had another sleepy morning for Charlie. She was not interested. Didn't particularly want to be on camera. Didn't particularly want to be talking about comics. Really just wanted to sleep a little, and then she's telling me she's hungry. So I'm gonna have another episode of the show where we talk about breakfast. But I will be making her some breakfast here in just a little bit. Good morning. Let's see how it's switched. See, now I'm on the other side. She was talking about why is everything backwards? And I was like, well, we talked a little bit about how a camera works and how the technology of YouTube allows for these things to get flipped normally again. I have 4 books to talk about today, and Kate has 3, but then we also have an unboxing from the boy who had 7. So if he shows up in the chat, we will give him more shout outs. I realize I did not put the link to his channel in this video, but at the same time, I think he has like 800 subscribers or something, like deservedly amazing. I don't think anybody doesn't subscribe to him. Did you see?
Don't wake
Carlito?
the movie star.
Don't wake the movie star, says Delphia. Fair. I also like Carlito. Yes, John's breakfast with kids. Maybe I have to do a video of cooking. I was joking with Ryan that like the most popular things in the chat of my videos are almost always when I get off on food for some reason. And it's not, I'm not even a foodie, but I understand some people really, it means a lot.
Charlie is in bed or reading, I think, Pop-Up.
Yeah, she was not interested this morning. She said, and I'm not gonna force her to do this. So if she wants to sleep in and she'd rather lay down, all for it. Like, Mr. Carroll just made it on time. My daughter made my daughter go brush her teeth before watching. I should have made Kate do that. Kate's working on a big project today. Her Revolutionary War Hero project is due Monday. So we have the PowerPoint pretty much done. And she's going to be making little videos to go into her PowerPoint today, and then we'll be able to practice it a little bit. But the videos, you got to shoot them, got to make all the things.
We're gonna post them, right?
And then we have to edit them and load them into your PowerPoint. I don't know that we'll load them up on YouTube. Do you want them on YouTube?
I wanted them to go on, yeah.
All right, well, maybe when they're all done, we'll put them together no longer and see if we can load them up.
Maybe I'll present.
Oh, Brick Nasty is watching. We were just talking about Brick Nasty, and we're going to mention you here right at the beginning. So be ready. And his little girl's watching. We were saying hi to her last night on her show. So we can wave. Good morning.
Morning, Aria.
So yeah, I'm going to jump right in here. Yes, PowerPoint, Kachung, yes. She's almost middle schooler now, next year middle school. So the first book I added it to the top of my reading list last night. I was in Burke Nasty's live stream helping out. And he mentioned his Joy of the Flash. And I asked again, like, where do you start with the Flash? Like, I haven't really tried to get into this character. And he was like, dude, I sent you a book. He sent me this book. And I was like, dude, I totally have that in my reading pile. I just have to shuffle it to the top. You buy like 6 new books each week. And I've got a show where I need to read that book each week. So that tends to like always be filled with whatever I just grabbed recently. So this moved to the top of my list. And I read Rebirth #1 this morning, first thing, and it's good. There's a new villain involved, very creepy villain, and Burke Nasty will tell you the name of that villain because I honestly can't remember it because it's just like this character is just sort of beginning to come into play.
Zoom, right?
It's not Zoom, no. It's this guy here. This guy.
Looks like Zoom.
Yeah, all the evil Flash villains look like Godspeed is his name. Look like versions of the Flash in different ways. Zoom does, and
Zoom's bad. Right?
Reverse Flash. These guys, yeah,
I've
so it
not
was really
watched
good.
the television.
I enjoyed it a lot. I'll have to go figure out where the other ones are because I got to read some of the rest of these. And I know it connects to those lenticular covers everybody shows with Batman and Flash and the Watchmen logo. So that was the top of my reading list. Thank you, Brooke Nasty, for the reminder. All right, Kate, what's your first book?
Okay, if we're gonna jiggle the table with your foot. Anyways,
Sorry.
I have a Miraculous comic, and these are thick for a comic, I think, and they're like a review of an episode.
So each
So, like-
comic is one episode of the show?
Yeah, I think we have 3.
The show is on Netflix if people want to see it.
Yeah.
Or at least it was last
For,
time I
like,
checked.
younger kids, but like this is like they're like pictures from the episodes with like captions for like comic books. And this one's called Reflecta. And this is the girl who gets like turned into a supervillain. And like it's mostly about these 2 people named Marinette, and there's one named Adrian, and they're both superheroes and they have no idea. And they're in the same class and stuff. So they like constantly are like vanishing from scenes. They're like, oh, I forgot to do this or whatever. Kind of like Spider-Man does. I really, really like this television stuff. It's really good. So, yeah.
Yeah, the girls are very big fans of the Miraculous television show. It's very popular in our house, and all the little characters and sub-characters, they know all of them. Real quick, Chad of the Comic Corps says that the Jeff Johns Rebirth Flash is also really, really good. So I'll have to add that to what I'm looking for. Carlito, I'm very sorry that you were going to send me one of these, and I already went out and got one. I'm sorry. I found one for a steal, and I snagged one, so I'm very sorry to ruin an A-OK. I'm sorry about that. It's an amazing cover. Like Alex Ross, of course, is amazing, but that particular view, yeah, it's how I see Hal Jordan in my mind. So I'm very sorry to have ruined that for you. Did my dad say something? The comic background, yeah, I've got a little Scotty Young Daredevil. I got classic Alex Ross over there. Yeah, we got a little decorated. There's a Hulk. There's a Spider-Man statue right there, but it's hard to see him. Kind of blends in with the DVDs. And then there's, yeah, other action figures over here. Let's see, White Whale is in here. Who told me, Thanatos? What are you talking about? Somebody told me something? I missed it.
She told you, John. I saw that, but I didn't know what you're talking about.
I don't know what he's talking about either. I also like to sleep in on Saturday mornings. Yeah, it's hard. You know, Charlie's more like her mom. Sleeping in's a nice thing. Kid comics with John. I feel it coming soon. Wapty Bird. Yeah, it basically is now. Let's just be honest. Do you guys think John's Comics with Kids asked his wife if he could display comic stuff, or if he just sneaks them in one by one? Mr. Garrell, I don't ask. But we do have to, like, evolve the living room every once in a while when we want to have guests over. What?
I told you about the foot, to move your foot because you will.
Yeah, I'm usually the one telling them don't put your feet on the table and shake the camera. So, all right, so it's my turn. I wanted to read this because I snagged it for the cover. This is going to be one of my favorite covers of the year. That whole Iron Man, Tony Stark's always dealing with his alcoholism, and to have it displayed so wonderfully abstract. And I will say this cover perfectly fits the story inside, where Tony has created this sort of CG world, this VR world, and in it he's dealing with issues with his parents and issues with his alcoholism, and it's like definitely coming up in the story. But for me, this is an iconic image that's going to be something really, really great to look back on over the years. So I wanted to read it. The book is nowhere near as good as that cover, but it's worthy of having that cover for sure. Demon in a Bottle 2019. Yeah, totally. Comic Chief, I agree completely. Carlito says he's planning on doing not my contest video. I'm assuming you mean Thanatos' comic contest video, which is amazing. Yes, Burke Nasty, you should read God Country. It's just one trade. It's a one-off. You don't need to go out. So yeah, this is the winnings from Necro God Comics, but like it's totally worth it. Good morning, Bueller. Good night, Bueller.
He says, Bueller, drink a dang coffee.
He always does. That's why he's wide awake. Poor guy. All right, so it's your turn for your second one. I've done 2.
I have another miraculous.
Another miraculous.
This one is Kung Food. And
I want to say your sister might have reviewed that at one point, right?
maybe. She didn't like talk about it though. She didn't
Why do you like that one?
do it. But well, I don't really know how to explain it, but I really like Cat Noir. The person Adrian turns
Can
into.
you show
I'm
Cat Noir? Is that a
finding
picture?
Cat Noir, yeah.
Next, yeah, right there at the bottom of this
These
page.
are the transforming, and that's Cat Noir, and that's Ladybug.
Those are the 2 heroes, right?
And they both have things that turn them into superheroes. She has her earrings, and they only have a certain amount of time. So, like, the earrings will start with 5 dots, and throughout the mission, it starts, like, blinking one of them, and then they disappear. So she only has, like, 4 hours, I guess, left. I don't know. But
I agree. Comic Cat 84. Cat Noir is a cool name, even though it just
It
means
is.
even though it just means Black Cat, which obviously is another superhero, but whatever.
And he has a ring, kind of like Green Lantern. And he goes like, claws out, and then he like turns into Cat Noir.
Sam's Tangled Web is in here. Good to see you, Sam. He did his first live stream from his own channel recently, so check it out. Sam's channel. He did a great one.
Yes, Cat is not French. In the English dub, because it's actually in French, because it's in Paris, the show is, and it's usually in French. So English dub, they call it Cat Noir, because I guess it sounds better than Black Cat.
Right.
And in French, it's Chat Noir. So I don't know why it's Cat Noir instead of Cat Black, but
Mr. Miracle Comics is in here. Good to see you. Comic Cat 84 just dropped a video. And I think we're going to have to just say that you always drop a video, Comic Cat 84. I'm so sorry to see that you had such a painful unboxing. That was unacceptably painful for you. And I'm very sorry that it happened like that. So, but you had a great sense of humor about it, like you always do. So Comic Cat 84 dropped a good video this morning as well. You can check out. All right, so then which is better? That one or this one?
I like this one more, I think. Because there's like a mean girl in almost every class, and that's the mean girl. And Hawkmoth, the bad guy, he feeds off negative emotions. And he has a miraculous too, which are she has earrings and he has a ring. And his miraculous is like a little thing. It's like a button, I think. And we never know who he is until the last episode.
He's a mysterious villain who is sort of causing chaos in Paris.
And so he has these moths, which is why he's called Hawkmoth, and they're all white. And then he puts one in his hand and puts dark magic in it, and it turns black. And then it flies to the person and goes into an object. Like in this one, it's the hat, the chef hat her uncle has. See? It flies into the hat, and then that turns black.
So I see the moth at the top.
And then it turns
And then
into
it
that.
turns
And then
this is the villain over here,
Yeah, that's
Hawkmoth,
Hawkmoth.
setting the moth free.
And he turns them into a supervillain. Like in this one, this person turns into that thing. I don't know exactly what that is, but none of them actually make sense what they look like. It's pretty interesting. And Chloe, the mean girl, is like, she's always making people feel bad, so she's akumatized half of Paris. And when someone turns into a supervillain, it's called akumatized.
And then the heroes have to set them free.
Yes.
Some people are chatting about their favorite Donny Cates storyline, and a lot of people shouting out for God Country. For me, it's always going to be that Thanos run. I really love what he did with that character, but also with Cosmic Ghost Rider, what he did with the Silver Surfer, even the Hulk. I thought he did some really, really cool stuff with that story. You haven't read it. What are you talking about?
I'm talking to Delphia.
There's always
There's
a mean girl.
always
Yeah.
a mean girl.
And if you can't find the mean girl, what does that mean? Maybe you're the mean girl.
But I have mean girls in my class, so.
You would never be. I'm just joking. Yeah, so there's a lot of good. There's a lot of good Donny Cates out there, but for me, it's Thanos. Now, I know there was also a chat about their favorite Green Lantern. Obviously, I like Hal Jordan a lot. I'm starting to get into John Stewart as a cool Green Lantern.
Can I go get something? I'll come right back. So
Yeah, I mean,
you can share your
I got a book, so
Okay, I'll come right back. I promise.
I'm gonna take over your show though.
Bye.
All right. The next book I read was for Alec, White Whale Comics, because we are reviewing Criminal Issue 2 on Wednesday night on his channel. Wait, it's on my channel, actually. Sorry. This was issue 1 that dropped last month. Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips. I have not read anything from Criminal before. This was my very first exposure to Criminal at all. And I will say the title fits perfectly. It is a gritty noir, somewhere in between, I don't know, a 100 Bullets and a Sin City. It's got a little bit of all of that. So it was very well done, very grimy, gritty, and brutal. I'm curious to see where it goes. And so I have no knowledge of these characters who apparently have been in several storylines up to now. I'm excited to kind of see where it goes. I hope they continue to build on what they have set up here. You didn't hype it too much, Alec. I've got my favorite crime stories. Obviously, I'm a huge 100 Bullets fan. Nothing will ever beat 100 Bullets. And I do like Sin City a whole lot. And then, The Wire is on the TV side, one of my favorite crime storylines. So I don't think this is on that level yet for me, but it's excellent. And the artwork is unbelievably good. All right, Kate's got her last one.
So the book I'm going to share, it's not out, I don't think. What did you say it was?
It comes out on Tuesday.
Okay. So it's a brand new book, and I got it signed because the author and illustrator came to my school, and we got a button for it. And it's called Noodlefant. It's about an elephant who loves noodles, and it does make you hungry, yes. And there are some very
food in my channel again.
cool, there's some cool, like, so here's where it's signed at the bottom.
Does it say to Charlie and to Kate?
Yeah, to Charlie and Kate, stay noodly. And then she drew an elephant, the illustrator. And there's like, the kangaroos are like the police officers, and they're not nice police officers.
It's a pretty simple or straightforward civil rights metaphor. One species of animal trying to make all the laws and control what everybody in the society does, and the other animals trying to deal with it. You could argue that it's very much the story of Gandhi or something like that in India. I know that in this country we might say it's a Martin Luther King parable or what have you, but for me it sounded a lot more like the story of Gandhi. There's even like a hunger strike at one point, but it's all really kind of done in a playful, sort of childish like way.
And so like this is like one of the like tongue twisters that like you're like, oh. So I was thinking of a fresh batch of fettuccine. Maybe curly cavatappi would be nice, or I could stretch a tangle of tagliatelle.
It's all the
these
different
names.
pastas that the elephant likes to eat, but is not allowed to eat, and because he's an elephant, not a kangaroo.
Yeah. And so, like, she's like, no, I'm going to stand up to those mean kangaroos. And so they make this song, and it's like, those kangaroos are kangarooed, making rules about our food, telling us how we should think, what we can eat, and what to drink. When our new machine is done, we'll all eat pasta by the ton, because noodles are for me's and you's, not just those bossy kangaroos. So they make a machine that turns things into noodles.
This was one of the creative bits that I thought was really kind of fun. So in the story that at one point the elephant's not allowed to eat noodles anymore, so he builds a machine that can turn anything into noodles, so that he doesn't have to go out and buy the noodles. He can make them for him. Or she can make them for herself.
And so
those filthy mean kangaroos, Kachung, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so it says.
Caleb Murphy says kangaroo meat is the best steak you'll ever eat.
That rhymes.
He's legit. He's serious. I believe you. I believe you, Caleb. But that's news to me.
So
too bad elephants are vegetarians.
I like this part, and it says, Noodlefint tossed in some pens. She turned the crank, and out tumbled a pile of overcooked penne. Too soggy, she knocked a dent into the side, and the next batch was perfectly al dente. And then they turned cans into cannelloni, pillows into ravioli, and radiators into radiatori.
Yeah, I like that the pillows became little raviolis because the artist was talking about, well, raviolis look like little pillows, so that's perfect. You wheel it, crank it through the machine, and get something else.
So they tried Noodlefint in a kangaroo court, which is a real thing, I think. And so they say the laws are broken. She says they're already broken. And then she's standing up to them, and they call her guilty, and they put her in the zoo. She goes on hunger strike.
Yeah, the jail is a zoo. Very clever. Again, Sam Tangled Web says he likes these metaphorical kind of stories. I totally agree. I use them with my students in third grade to look at metaphor and understand layers of meaning and subtext. Because it's like the Giving Tree. I always tell my students the Giving Tree is not about a tree. That's why your mom always cries when she reads it to you. Like third graders, like it's about a tree. Like I don't know why my mom's always crying, and I'm like, it's not about a tree.
Anyways, so she turns the bars into udon because she finds the fantastic noodler.
Yeah, her machine can turn the bars of her cage into udon noodles. And sorry, we're making everybody hungry this morning. Yeah, yet again, count on Mr. John's channel here.
And so she makes a special sauce with mushrooms, and it sounds really good. Sizzling onions mixed with simmering tomatoes, the tang of raw garlic blended with fresh basil and Parmesan cheese. Sounds yummy.
Yes.
And so I like this part there.
Are you going to spoil the ending?
No, I'm just going to read this part. Together they turned corkscrews into cavatappi, flowers into fiore, and wheels into rotelle. And I'm not going to spoil the rest.
I agree, Mr. Garrell. The Giving Tree becomes a very different read once you're a parent. And that's why kids don't understand it. But it's a perfect example of subtext for a kid, because a kid can read it and get one layer of meaning. But then once you talk to them about how maybe there's another layer of meaning underneath, they get a chance to sort of dig into it and try to decide, well, what could it be saying? What else could be the statement in there? And of course, when you can get into metaphor for a kid early, they can start understanding layers of meaning and then use that quickly as they get older. Somebody Kachung made spicy sausage farfalle last night. Doesn't that sound delicious? I would totally dive into that.
Okay.
Are you done? Oh, sorry. Do you want to share the pin?
The pin, and they say this later in the book. When the laws are so unjust, misbehavior is a must. And it has Noodlefint on it. And
again, it reminded me a lot of the story of Gandhi, the idea of like civil disobedience, that idea of, sorry, be careful, there's a microphone gets make loud noise. Of like sit-ins and just refute, hunger strikes and not doing anything where you're no violence, non-violent protest, and that's a big part of the book. And I thought it was kind of a cool way to show some of that stuff. Not terribly like original, but like really well done.
It's a really cool book.
It is quite deep, Mr. Miracle. She's like, you done. I need to tell them about this book, Dad. Yeah. So Noodlefint is the name of the book, and I want to say that it's on Amazon as for sale on Tuesday. So the authors are traveling to schools, and they came by my school and were sharing it. John, have you seen The Fountain? A little off topic, but also not. No, yes, I have seen The Fountain. Amazing. Mind-warping, eye-opening. It's one of those movies you can't watch late at night. You can't watch it in chunks. That as a parent, I watch movies in chunks these days. I can't watch it all. it's a longer movie and you need to be completely focused and absorbed on it, but it pays you back for your focus. Absolutely. Don't worry about that. If people get into it, they'll read about it. All right, my last book, and then Kate will do a little unboxing from The Boy Who Had Seven. I don't think he's in the chat, but he might watch this a little bit later. The book I read that I enjoyed the most this week is Die issue 1. Die stands for, of course, the dice, like rolling dice, which is why it's, if you don't know about this story, these triangles, it's a 20-sided die that's been folded open.
Cool.
20-sided dice have triangles on all the 20 sides. And so this is a comic book about role play, about characters who are playing a game kind of like in Jumanji, but they get sucked into the world where they're playing. And it stops being fun. It starts being really scary and people get seriously injured. And of course, in the end of issue 1, they've been pulled back into this world again after thinking they had escaped forever. And now here in issue 3, they are really dealing with the consequences of being back in this place. And I thought this was beautifully well done, action and excitement and incredible artwork, but then at the core of it, a really quiet moment in a trench, sort of like something out of World War I in trench warfare, where soldiers are hiding out, and really, really a cool sequence. And I'm excited to see where this story goes. It's been a consistently good read and something that is near the top of my reading list every week when it comes out. That Heroes in Crisis and Immortal Hulk, I don't skip. I try to read them within a day of picking them up at the shop because I want to know exactly what's happening. They're really, really great. See here, what are people saying? Die is fantastic. They love it. Good. I'm glad everybody's enjoying that comic because I do think it's underrated. I know that there's a lot of good indie comics out there to choose from, and a lot of people want to just stick with their superheroes, and that's fine. I totally get it. But this is different, and Stephanie Hans is an incredible artist, and I love that she's moved away from just being a cover artist to doing all this interior work because it is incredible. John, send me a reader copy. It sounds interesting. A reader copy of what? Of Die or of
Noodlefin.
Noodlefin. What are we talking about here?
Also,
if the elephant brings the noodles, who brings the sauce?
She does too.
Yes, good question. Big Lion Cat digging deep in these questions. Yeah, she talks about a special mushroom sauce that her mother taught her. Her grandmother, sorry, taught her. I read it. And going into the forest to find the mushrooms for the sauce. Very important. Good question. Let's see. Die. Very Tolkien-like. I totally agree, Kachung. Die has a very Tolkien-like world, but it's like a twisted version of that for sure. Let's see.
I mean Die.
Carlito, okay, when I go to my shop the next time, I'm going to see if I think they still had issue 1 on the shelf. They might have a couple of them. And I was tempted to buy a couple extras just to have them. So I'll totally grab you one, Carlito. Absolutely. John, can Paul McCall make better? I'll tell you, I've been training. I've been lifting weights, working out my thumb. I only have a few comics that I read within 24 hours, like TV shows. I don't make an effort to watch them live unless it's Supernatural or Star Trek Discovery. I totally agree.
Daddy, look.
There are very few television shows that I am watching while they happen. And I'll tell you, one of them goes off the air this year because Game of Thrones comes to an end. And I will be watching each week with just rabid attention. I know that I think Chad in the Comic Corps was talking to me about maybe doing something to get pumped up for the seasons of that show when it comes back because he and I are pretty big fans. I know that Thanatos is a big fan. So that's going to be exciting when that comes back. And I'm sad there's only going to be, 6 episodes, but they're all like an hour and a half long. They're like a movie length episodes. Oh, Kate wanted to show off Miraculous what?
This is the ad on both books, on the back of both books. And I was reading.
Hold on one sec. We got to say hi to Jeffrey. Jeffrey's in the chat. Jeffrey Comic-Con.
Hello, Jeffrey.
Good to see you, buddy. I feel like we haven't spent time together in so long, even though we've technically never spent time together. It's just internet time. But we need to hang out. And if nothing else, just have an offline chat today. If you want to just hang out offline, I'm willing to hang out. Just let me know. Sorry, go ahead, do what you're doing.
Okay, so I was reading it and I looked this card game up and I got it. And basically, I don't exactly know how to play, but this is a drawing.
I totally forgot about this. Didn't you get this for your birthday or something?
Yeah. I don't remember drawing this.
It's a miraculous, like a card game.
But I drew that.
We have to learn how to play this.
I know. I don't know how.
It's got the instructions. It's got the instructions.
I know. I never understood.
Wow, this is a huge instruction manual for a game that just has cards.
That's because it has
it's a comic
book
in it.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So it's got instructions, but it's also got a comic book inside. That is kind of cool.
And so,
So yeah, this is all a comic. It's just the instructions are just the back page. There you go.
anyways, there's a cat noir. There is a ladybug. And there is a hawk moth. And these things, called kwamis, allow them, basically, because when they turn into cat noir and ladybug, they say spots on or claws out, I think. And these are the things that help them transform. Obviously, that's ladybug and that's cat noirs. And they're called Tiki and Plaid. And they are adorable.
They're a little pet guys.
And you have to feed them so that you can charge back up, so you can turn back into Ladybug and Cat Noir.
All right, we got an unboxing to do.
Okay.
We can't be too much miraculous here.
That's not true. It's never enough.
Oh, Thanatos says his daughter likes Cat Noir too.
Really? Good.
Every time she finds a kindred spirit in that, it's like
Watch out.
nerd alert time, Thanatos. I don't want to spoil it, but Thanatos and I are putting together a show called Nerd Alert.
Huh?
So you need to be ready for that. Hopefully we get it to roll in like a week, maybe a little more than a week. We're going to do our first episode of that. So be ready for the Nerd Alert. We've been trying to do something together for a while. Schedules, ideas. I think we've hit on something. So that's my first little tease on Nerd Alert. Just be ready for that. But yeah, so our girls just Nerd Alerted.
This whole thing
Nerd Alerted.
is an entire comic book. It's so small.
Okay, so Wingnut, I am working on a Game of Thrones thing. It won't be like I'm doing Lost, but Chad of the Comic Core and we're trying to figure something out for Game of Thrones. Just to make people, maybe even just like one episode, one live stream with Chad and I, talking about the characters, talking about where we left off, and just getting people caught up, like a refresh. Not like I'm doing Lost, where I'm doing that Lost thing. I'm going to be doing that until October, but maybe the other thing will be different. Okay, so this came, Boy Who Had Seven, Matt, his girls, my girls. There's a lot of fun back and forth between our videos. They are adorable, fun girls. Scarlett and I always say Emma, but it's
Abby.
Abby, yes.
Abby. No, Abby is Scarlett.
Oh, Abby is Scarlett.
Emma is just
Emma.
Emma.
Sorry, girls. Your dad confused me because he gave me one name and then he flipped names on me, and it's like, so I say Scarlett and Emma. I'm just going to say Scarlett and Emma, and I'm sorry if they don't like that.
Blown.
Mine is blown. We went back and forth a bunch on books we liked. We sent them some books. They sent us some books. It was a lot of fun. And then we did our contest where people gave us ideas for books and comics that people should read.
David. That's exactly what it is.
She already knows. Matt said, girls, if you haven't read these books, we will send them to you. He did. This is a book series that Matt was telling me all about.
Favorite.
I know he's got good taste in books. Do you know how we know he's got good taste in books?
Huh.
One of his all-time favorite book series is
Harry Potter?
Harry Potter.
Yeah!
And he said this is next on his list of great books. It's a series called Fable Haven.
Yeah.
There are 5 books, and there they all are. I can't believe we got the whole set from him. This is incredible. The artist's last name is Mull. Would you grab me?
An exacto knife.
Yeah, I think it's up there on top of the DVDs. So really, really nice gift from him. Cannot believe it. Fire Guy Ryan's in here, dude. Poor Fire Guy Ryan, man. He was going down to drive from Seattle to Portland area just to hang out with Bueller yesterday. Ryan was going to go hang out with Bueller, and then storm of the century hits that area where they're getting snowed in, and Ryan's like, screw this, I'm going back. So dude sat in traffic for hours, got about halfway, and then was like, I'm not going to make it. This is not going to work. And he turned around and went home. So he just sat in traffic for nothing. Ryan, I'm sorry, dude. That just stinks. I hope that you can at least enjoy some of your day instead of spending time with Bueller. I'm sorry. That was a real bummer. He said 4 hours in the car in the snow. Sorry, Ryan. That stinks. All right. So I'm opening this up so that Kate can look at book number 1. Can you grab it? It's falling out there. Boom. The author's name is?
Brandon Mull.
Brandon Mull. And let's see here. This is the cover. I'll tell you. When I was a kid, if a comic book or a regular book had a dragon on the cover, I would want to read it. And this one has a dragon on the cover. Look at that.
I'm going to read it.
That looks cool. For centuries, mystical creatures were gathered into a hidden refuge called Fablehaven to prevent their extinction. But the sanctuary is one of the last strongholds of true magic. Enchanting? Absolutely. Exciting? You bet. Safe? Well, actually quite the opposite. Kendra and her brother Seth have no idea that their grandfather is the current caretaker of Fablehaven. Inside the gated woods, ancient laws keep order among greedy trolls, mischievous satyrs, plotting witches, spiteful imps, and jealous fairies. However, when the rules get broken, powerful forces of evil are unleashed, and Kendra and her brother must face the greatest challenge of their lives to save their family, Fablehaven, and perhaps even the world. Did I know that? I think I know that.
Give it to me.
BrandonMull.com is the website, and it looks like he's got 5 issues in the Fablehaven, 5 books in the Fablehaven series. That's cool. And you love, what is it? Land of Stories,
yes,
which is another
really similar.
another series really using fables as the background, and then having a brother and a sister go into this fable world. So this sounds right up your alley. We will definitely be reading this soon. Sounds like everybody's talking about the snows and the cold weathers and the weird climate stuff going on right now. The U.S. getting hit. Snow. What is the snow you speak of? Bake the Snake. You and Caleb, you guys get your hurricanes. Don't worry. Don't tempt fate. Here, Bake the Snake. You don't want to tempt the wrath of nature, Mother Nature. You gotta watch out.
What does foliage mean?
Foliage. What do you think foliage is?
Grass?
Oh, yes, plants. The foliage. The plants. Ryan says he slept for 12 hours and hasn't looked out the window yet. He's scared of snow. Well, yeah, we're on the West Coast. For the most part, we should be not having to worry about snow. More just rain, which we've been getting. It's nice to get some rain. Bake the Snake. Everybody's enjoying your comedy. Florida gonna get you. Ryan. Oh. Yeah, hurricanes are no joke. And every time I feel like Florida, you guys get drilled. Florida, Georgia, that whole section down there, and then of course into the Gulf, it's just not good. Not good. So stay safe, everybody. So we are done for now. I want to pump up a couple of things going on. Tonight at 6 o'clock Pacific, 9 o'clock Eastern, Alec of White Whale Comics is doing a huge auction. He's going to have me, himself, and Comics NYC. We are all going to be showing books, selling books, doing buy it nows, doing auction items, all kinds of fun stuff. So please come on by. It'll be 6 o'clock on his channel. I know Discovery Bay said 8 o'clock. I think I might have messed it up when I told him about it originally. But it is tonight on Alec's channel. If you're subscribed to Alec, just hit the notification bell. And when he goes live, you'll be there ready to join in. All day today, I'm going to be posting the books that I'm going to be selling. You can see the lots, and I'll zoom in. You can zoom in on all the pictures of the books, and you see oh, mid-grade, high-grade. Am I interested in this one? Am I interested in that one? So that when we're selling, people are just ready to go. Makes it less time spent on hold this corner up, hold that corner up, all that kind of stuff. Instead, it'll be let's sell the books and let's keep it going. I'm going to have at least 5 auction items or lots of books. I'm going to have a few buy it now things where I'll hold one up, say, hey, first person to say they want it, this is the price, you got it. I might even do one of those Venom stance boxes that everybody seemed to really want. I got 2 more. So, I mean, like, you know, I don't need that many stance Venom socks and posters. If somebody wants one, and you know, I'll definitely do less than the guy. There's only one currently on eBay, and that guy wants like $200, I think, plus shipping. Definitely not going to make you do that. So you get a deal on it if you really want it. But I'll have a bunch of stuff, and I'll be posting it all on my Instagram. So if you want to check all that stuff out, and those reminders will be going all day. Comics NYC, Comic Books NYC, and White Whale, we'll all have stuff going. I'm not selling any slabs, but I've only got like 10 slabs anyways. So it's not like I have a whole lot of slabs to choose from. And half of them were gifts. And I'm not going to sell my gifts. That's like uncool. I know when I look at that book, I think of the Symbiote Club and NecroGod Comics, or when I look at the ones that Comic Books NYC sent me, those are books that mean something because it's coming from that friend.
Thank you, Boyhood7.
Yes, thank you, Boyhood7. Kate's running off to go read already. How many pages are you in? You on page 3 already?
2, actually. But what does that mean?
Asphyxiated. That's a medical problem. That means that people are having trouble breathing. Asphyxiation, having trouble. It's a medical issue.
They died in their sleep because of a gas leak.
There you go. Yeah, big word. So definitely come and join the auction. It should be a lot of fun. Let's see. Is Comic Spectre in here? Perfect timing, Comic Spectre. I'm going to throw a little love around there too. Wednesday, Comic Core Unlimited is unveiled. They mentioned it last night in the Comic Core, but it might have been hard to hear. This Wednesday at 7 o'clock Pacific, we are unveiling Comic Core Unlimited, the Wednesday edition of the Comic Core, of which I am one of the people in the. I am the kooky one they decided to throw in at the last second. You got Comic Spectre, Comics Misexplained. You got JD. I mean, look at those heavy hitters. Then they threw in last night Joe Ryan Comics, who I have just discovered is an amazing channel. And then the Schlub. They threw me in there, you know, as the 5th guy to round out the group. So we will have a new version of the Comic Core, sponsored by Chad, using the Comic Core channel. We will be running at 7 o'clock for about an hour, maybe a little bit over. And then I'll go right into the book club on my channel right after. So the book club might start at 8:30 this week, just because it's the premiere of Comic Core Unlimited with Comic Spectre, who's in the chat there. So look forward to that. And if you're subscribed to the Comic Core, this will be an alternative to them. I know on Fridays they cut loose, they have a beer, Bueller lets down his hair or his hat or his vest, and it gets a little kooky over there. We're going to try to be a little more organized, a little less just chaotic chatter, and we'll see how it goes. I mean, it should be a lot of fun all around. Comic Core says Comic Spectre says he's looking forward to it. Me too. Thanks, Dad, for coming by. Good to see you. I'm going to see you tomorrow for a special birthday movie and lunch, so be ready for that. Mr. Bearden says, Bon chance à l'evento en rouge. Passez un bon journée.
I can't.
John et Kate, au revoir.
I'm
saying passer un bon journée says have a good journey. Bon chance à la vette au
have a good day.
Yeah, I'm trying. I don't speak French, but I'm good with words, so I'm trying to break it down. Do I have Google Translate on? Let's see. Yeah, so there's some big things going on. Auction tonight, and my Wednesday night now is very, very full, but we're only doing the Comic Core Unlimited twice a month, the 2nd and 4th Wednesdays of the month. So when those roll around, you'll hear me promote it, and it'll be a fun time because those are I've known JD a few times live streaming together, but the other 3 guys, I'm just starting to get to know all of them. It'll be a fun chance to just hang and chat. The vest in person, Ryan. Yeah.
I'm gonna come back.
Got a chance to see the vest yesterday. Almost, yeah, almost. All right. So thanks everybody for coming.
Thank you.
And we will see you guys hopefully tonight at the auction. Bye. Bye.